Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Friday, February 14th, 4:54 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we are in an uptrend, and if we look at trend gauge over here, market leaders under grow mode. Short term, we're trading above the 21 EMA, mid caps lagging, and we did get weekly all-time high closes for the S&P and the QQQ. So nothing really bearish about that. Medium term trading above the 50-day moving average and long term above the 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Well, we got retail sales in the morning, very muted reaction, and the ATR, the range, the S&P 500 continues to contract. We kind of broke the range yesterday, followed through today, kind of consolidating, and we're just slightly under all-time highs with weekly all-time high closes. So can't really ask for more. 21 over 21 list was up 0.2% on the day, 13 green, 8 red. Twilio really weighed it down today. They were down 15% on earnings. Big 8 was up 0.58%, RG8 up 0.66%, and ARC up 3.5%, breaking out of that base. 60/40 up 0.14%, and then GROTECTION down 0.22% on the day. Let's get into the TALT interasset correlation. S&P 500, start with the weekly. All-time high weekly close, and this continues to look good. Just this is what happens in bull markets. You get rewarded for owning stocks and having index exposure, and can't complain about this. Back above 6,100 and closing at the highs. Daily looks good. Tight day under this. See if we can take out that 61.28 high next week and really break out of this range. It really has been a choppy range, stock pickers market for sure. RSP kind of forming the handle in this cut base. QQQ, again, let's take a look at the weekly. All-time high weekly close coming out of this base. And looks fantastic as long as it doesn't leak off. I mean, this looks really good, and looking to take out this 539 left side highs, and maybe that brings another wave of momentum. There's still been some awesome acting stocks and whatnot. Indexes have been decent, but there's been some volatility. You had the deep sec gap down, and just a lot of tariff headlines, just generally a lot of volatility. That's what you tend to see when you're trading in a range in a base. So breakout out of this base could lead to an even better trading environment. Mag 7, this one looks coiled to break out through this trend line next week. Got the power through with all the moving averages stacked right here. And look at Meta. This thing's up like 20 days in a row. Pretty unbelievable strength there. I'll just take a look at it right now. I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, just after this shook out under here on earnings here and just trending higher, riding the 8 EMA higher. Whoever, kind of a dream stock to own, how minimal volatility just up and to the right. Dow Jones kind of forming the handle out of this cut base. This one looks good as well. Mid caps, looking a little bit worse, but see if they can get back. This 3,200 level seems pretty key. Continues to meander around here. Stochastic starting to hook back up and kind of got a downtrend line. So maybe we can bust back up through here. That'd be good for mid caps. Russell 2000, again, at this 2,300's the main level, plus this 50-day. It rejected right at the declining 50-day again today, and it just continues to struggle in a big range. As long as it's above the 200-day moving average, not really concerned with it, but there's not much alpha in small cap index right now. Take a look at the weekly. Looks fine, kind of forming a weekly flag here. Just needs some volume and a breakout. Monthly, I just think it also really needs to break out. Clean break out of this range. And IWM does its best work when it's trading in all-time highs. ARC super strong here, falling through out of this base. Like I said, up 3.5% on the day, and continue to see rotation into some of these growth stocks. But great chart. Talked on the podcast today about the stage one base, and this is a perfect example of the stage one base. like multi-year period of neglect. The sentiment for ARK was as worse as it can get. If in this time, if you just went on the internet, everyone was bashing Kathy Wood, saying how much she sucks. And that was probably a sentiment indicator right there that it was probably close to bottoming out. And once it broke through here, it's continuing to trend higher. It's in a stage two uptrend now. And this first little base after the stage one breakout and falling through to the upside. So, really good action there. FFTY leaders again making a higher high today, breaking out of this base. This chart looks very similar to ARK. Take a look at the weekly. Again, very similar stage one base type thing, falling through the upside. And if this is going to continue, right, this has got a lot of room all the way up back to the highs. VIX continues to leak off back below 15. Dollar, this is awesome to see. Although, gold was down, which is kind of interesting, but kind of breaking lower out of this flag, and this should be good for equities and commodities as well, although gold was down. But finally getting that leak off in the dollar and kind of talk about, right? This was a look below and fail down here, and now we're potentially looking at a look above and failed breakout through here. So this is really good to see. Gold again down today, down about 1.5%, but grand scheme of things, just pulling back to the 8 EMA as long as it holds above the high of this base. This looks like it wants to continue higher. GDX, same thing, pulling back today, but maybe this starts to form a handle here on the right side. Bitcoin, nice day today, up 1%, trying to, talk about the lows of this space and held this day's low. Now it's starting to round back up. Got a trend line from here. Needs to really get back above the 50-day. And if those can start to hook back up, that'd be good. Stochastic looks like it wants to hook up as well. Bonds popping back up as well, TLT. And then, rates, see if they can fall through to the downside like the dollar did. And we'll have to see into next week. Alrighty, that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Just got retail sales this morning, very muted reaction. Today's keys are watching S&P versus 6,100, clean close above. Q's nice close above the 21 and 50. Now we're watching that all-time high break, and then Russell still struggling with the 50-day. Monday the market is closed, so for Tuesday, continue to watch the S&P versus that 6,100 level and all-time highs. The Q's versus the 21 and all-time highs, and see if the Russell 2000 can get back above that 50-day moving average. Day count, kind of, day 20 of the consolidation, 5 days above the 8, 9 days above the 21. Sectors wise, China was strong again. Some of the liquid leaders like Alibaba, Futu, they've seen some pretty monster moves. Short term, a little bit extended, but I talked about Bob on the podcast as well, actually, and just talking about how that fits the bill of a pretty clear stage one base breakout. So see if it falls through. ARKG, this is ARK's genomics sector. It's some biotech stocks that was up nicely today, breaking out of a big range. Bitcoin, airlines were up. There's some 13Fs were released today, and I did see Druckenmiller bought some positions in Delta, United, American. So maybe there's something going on there, although they have been going on some nice runs. Semiconductors up and software weakness, uranium's breaking down, tons of relative weakness. Gold down a little bit, staples, oil. In-house today, no trades. RVAB the same at 1.49, and then balance at risk slightly down to 5.55%. Bottom line, S&P range contracts as market sits right below all-time highs. Alrighty, take a look at the 21 over 21 list. APP, super strong comeback on this one today. Closed really weak yesterday. You can see, and kind of was not expecting this to shoot back up this strong today. Closed the day up 8%. It's very impressive. The stock is very strong. So continue to watch this one. Really good day two reaction after a weak close on the initial ER day. Helmet breaking out of this base was getting super tight there. Nice action. Dash, awesome action, just trending after this base breakout. Had some good earnings and just riding higher. Robinhood inside day, but continues to respect that earnings gap low. Good action there. HIMS, little short-term extended here, getting a little, but super strong. I mean, this one, I think I mentioned in the other video, but historically was super choppy, but now that it's in all-time highs, this name is really rocking, very strong. CEG, this one looks good, building a tight range and really back up, into that after that deep set gap down, really strong recovery on this one. Affirm, good action here. This one's taking the reins versus Upstart in terms of post earnings action. New highs today, up almost 2%, and just really good action. This one. Another one that is coming out of a huge period of neglect, although it did have a big move here off the lows, kind of steep pullback, and now this one really is getting going. Zillow trying to hold the 50-day here after gapping down on earnings. SCE, really nice one, just continues to fall through out of this breakout. Palantir is just so strong, up 1%, continues to build after this earnings. EQT building here right under this 55 area level. Natural gas data center would be the N in Can Slim. This one acts really well. TKO, another one. This one's getting ants popping up. Super nice trend on this one. Kava trying to hold the 50-day here on this pullback. CYBR continues to move higher. Good action here, back above that 400 level. IBKR continues to trend higher. Atlassian, not doing anything wrong, just pulled back to the high volume close, held it. Bros inside day after that monster earnings gap. Snow, strong day the other day and then just coming back in, but still looks fine. I don't know if this one kind of got hit with the weakness in Twilio. Reddit, just pulling back again a little bit. Maybe this needs to touch the 50, but overall, not bad. AEM, another gold miner, starting to pull back after this base breakout. And then Twilio down 15% on heavy volume. So this needs to hold this prior base high, which is around 116.43. And that's also the 50-day. The weekly's got less noise on this one. This one's pulling back to the 10-week moving average. Kind of the second pullback to the 10-week moving average. So we'll see if this can hold. But the stock still looks pretty good. That's the 21. Let's take a look at FXI because China was strong again today. And look at the weekly. China's got really nice stage one base breakouts. Huge shift here. Sentiment's pretty ugly as it's been for years as China's just gone down or traded in a range. So definitely keep an eye on, some of these emerging markets. We've seen Argentina have a big move. Take a look at ARGT, right? Huge move. CIB, this is Colombia. And this is another kind of emerging market. Look at this massive move that it had. And a lot of these are being stemmed on from the government shifting to more right-wing politics and the markets like that. And so yeah, this one's good. And then let's take a look at BABA. Huge move. And showed up here as well, and you can just see pretty epic move here off the 200-day moving average, shooting right back up. So short term, quite extended, overbought. This probably needs to pull back, but definitely on watch if it pulls back. And if you look at this weekly, coming out of a really nice stage one base. Futu is another one. Super strong move, very similar chart to BABA. 130.5 is these left side highs. Look at this weekly chart, very similar to BABA. This one's been building higher lows for a while now and starting to come out of this cup base. So that's, we always talk about their diversification, can be a hedge for ignorance, right? There's no reason to hold these things that are just in a trading range, giving no alpha. But when the facts change, we'll look at it and the facts are changing that China is starting to see some buyers and it's showing a ton of relative strength versus the market. So keep an eye on these ones moving forward. Some other names on the 21 over 21 list, RBRK. Nice one. This is in the software security industry group, continues to move higher. CrowdStrike's another one. This one looks pretty good. Obviously coming out of this big base. One name to mention, Uber. This one's really starting to show some relative strength again after basing for quite some time. And this one's popped up. Bill Ackman took a stake in this one, so that brought some volume the other day. And then just looking at some other Tempest AI, this is an AI, medical AI company with a huge move up the right side on enormous volume. So this is another one. If this one can pull back, short term, it's extended, it could provide an opportunity. I did mention ARC-G. This is the ARC genomic, however you say it, revolution, breaking out of a huge base on really nice volume today. So some couple things popping up there. But we'll end it looking at the indexes. Can't really be bearish with the QQQ and the S&P putting in all-time high weekly closes. And if you're listening to someone on TV that's spewing bearish nonsense, that I wouldn't listen to them. And you have indexes right under all-time highs, and then Don mentioned the video that AAII investor sentiment very bullish, just shows why retail is always on the wrong side, off sides. And then even looking at the NAM exposure index, that's in the 70s, and the index is right under all-time highs. You'd expect that to be higher. So, you got good leadership in action in stocks. We have the green arrow under leaders. You have indexes back above all key moving averages, really looking to fall through highs, and you also have negative sentiment. So not a bad landscape in the market right now. And with that, that is going to wrap it. As always, I'd like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com, or you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH, 855-732-5932. If you're ever interested in becoming a client, as always, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Friday, February 14th, 5:14 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management. Thanks for watching and have a great night.